Hi students, welcome back. I hope you have understood chapter 6. So let's move on to chapter 7, Python functions. And this is part 1 video. Before getting into the video, please do subscribe. So let's take a quick look. Here in this video you'll be learning about the types of functions and defining function. Finally, syntax and advantage of user defined functions. Okay, now let's start with an introduction. Look at this example. The very first line begins with hash. So it is a comment line. And the second line is function definition. Yes, we have to frame like this. We will be using this keyword and then you can mention all the action blocks after a tab space. And after completing the function, out of function we have to call the function by its name. And yes, that line is called as function call. The remaining lines are just comment lines and you can see the output. So let's see how to work with this type of programs. So before getting into online editor, let's check the types of functions. We do have total 4 types of functions. The very first one is user defined functions. So user defined function means the functions defined by the users. So you can give any name to a block of statement. That is the meaning. And the second one is built-in functions. So by default, predefined functions will be there. That is what built-in functions. You cannot use those terms for any other purpose. So here in user defined function and built-in function, we do have function name. And what if I don't mention any function name? Can I do that? Yes. If you are not going to mention a function name, it is actually called as anonymous function, that is lambda function. Here in Python, you are allowed to define a function without even writing any name for that particular block. And finally, the fourth type is recursion functions. Yes, function that calls itself is known as recursive functions. So these are the 4 different types of functions. So let's learn one by one. So first let us see how to define functions. Functions must be defined to create and use certain functionality. So you can select built-in functions or you can create functions. So let's see an example for built-in functions. So print statement. Yes, print is a function and it comes under built-in function. Now what is the work of print function? Yes, it is used as output statement. To build a function, we should begin with the keyword def, that is DEF, definition, and followed by the name, function name, and you should end up with parenthesis. At last, you should end up with colon. So this is the example for functions, that is def, sample, parenthesis, and colon. Let us see the general form, that is syntax for user defined function. Keyword def and function name followed by parameters and end up with a colon, and all the action blocks should be given tab space. Okay, this is online editor. Here I use script mode to type the program. Let's start typing the program with the keyword def followed by the function name and open and close parenthesis, end up with a colon. So look at the function line. Near to 1, you just see the arrow. That means this line is treated as the header of function block. Now press enter, automatically the new line will be inserted after tab space. Now here, whatever you want to be printed, you can type. So let's type a statement, and after completing all the statements, just type the keyword return. So what happens when you press enter, automatically it will come out of the block. And this keyword return is completely optional. So if you are not using this, you have to use backspace to delete all the space. If you are using this return word, automatically the next line will be out of the function block. and we are just using function call statement to call the function. So let's run this program. Here function definition is hello. We do have only one print statement. Out of the block, I just called this function by its name. Let's run this program. Yes, the output is hi. You can type any statement there, so that will be printed. Yes. Okay children, let's try nested function blocks. So starting with a keyword definition def, and since it is outer block, I'm just naming it as out. Let's end up with a colon, so it will be a function. Press enter, type any print statement. Okay, now the next line, let's start another function block. So we are inside the function block. Again we are going to create another function block. So you have to use the keyword def, and since it is inside, I'm just naming it as in. And look at the color. In is a keyword, so it is in blue color, so you can't use this word as the function name. So let's name it as inside and press enter. Sorry, you have to end up with the colon to make it as function, and press enter, then type any print statement. Okay. Okay, now let's end up this inside function block. So you have to use the keyword return and press enter. Now the cursor comes outside the function inside. Now here, this is the place to call the function which we have used inside the another function. So this is the function call statement. Press enter. Now I'm just going to end up the outside function also. So use the keyword return. Press enter. So we are out of all the function block. Now this is the place to call the outer function block. So I just call here out. Let's run this program. Yes, be happy, stay strong. Finally, moving on to advantages of user-defined functions. Functions helps us to divide the program into modules. So this makes the code easier to manage. So if the program size is small, yes, it is easy to find the error and easy to clear, easy to read, easy to manage. This concept implements code reuse. So one block of statement can be used in many different places of same program. And if the functions are included in the program, what happens? A very large program, the concept, if the concept is very large, you can break into smaller modules, and many developer can work for one program. So the time taken to complete the program will be less. And these are the advantages of user defined functions. So that's all for today. Let's quickly get into the recap. We have discussed about types of functions, defining functions, syntax for user defined function, and the advantages of user defined functions.